Hey guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve, or something like that. Welcome back. It's Prep Talk, it's Jeep Talk, it's whatever you want to call it. I got a thought exercise for you all, as well as we might touch on current events. We'll see. We'll try to keep it kind of kosher for the YouTubans, but yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Let's get started. So, current events or the thought exercise? Which should we hit first? Let's do the thought exercise. While I'm not on the bug out location 24/7 anymore, I'm working out of a nearby town, and I'm building on a adjacent piece of property. Some of you who have followed the channel know that Miss Kim and I split up a year and a half, 2 years ago. It seems like forever. It's all good. And I've dated during that time and whatnot. But herein lies the question. That piece of property is my fallback. Now, I have people living there full time. Ma and Pa are there. But, what happens when it all goes down? Let's say that the balloon goes up, the economy crashes, whatever. There are people who were a part of my family who know where that location is. What do you do when an ex-spouse or an ex-girlfriend shows up on the doorstep? How are you going to handle that situation? They know what your preps were. They can assume that they've probably gotten bigger, that you haven't stopped your lifestyle just because they're not part of it. And they have a dated intelligence on your defensive capabilities. It goes back to the old "I'm coming to your house if things get bad" routine. You know, we all say, "Oh, no, you're not." Okay. But they know where you live. They know where your location is. They know where you've been. You know, they've seen your pantry. They've seen your caches on the mountain. They helped build them. What will you do? How do you handle that? How do you handle turning someone away that you once cared for? I have no answers. I'd like to think that I would be nice enough to give a care package and send them on their way. But then again, this could be someone who's hurt you deeply, whether by their actions or bringing up past memories, maybe treating you like someone in your past treated you, that has brought back, you know, there's a reason why you're no longer together. Whatever that reason may be, what do you do? There's hurt and there's anger based upon however those relationships ended. Does that justify a knee-jerk reaction of being a total horse's rear end and throwing them to the curb quickly? Or do you do the Caesar Milan dog training tricks of calm and assertive, but you're leaving my property? What happens if these people who know a close estimate, maybe, of what you have, decide to force their way in? The other question becomes, when you're dealing with a mag or a bug out group, a survivalist group, whatever term you want to use for it, what happens if you've cut someone from the team and then they show up? When it comes to team groups and team exercises, I think that at some point you should stop being a loose federation of friends and actually draft some form of constitution or bylaws or something and hold to that. That gives your group a footing to stand on. No, you left. We gave you X amount of your supplies that you had given, or, whatever your personal group's negotiation is. Things for the group might stay with the group. Things that you personally have placed at the location go with you. That's just a suggestion, a thought. That person can be booted off the island and not allowed back on the island. But when dealing with family, ex-in-laws, ex-friends, it becomes a little more contentious and painful. To look at. And you have to stop and say, thus far and no further. Whether or not you're going to allow that person on the property is up to you. And you have to stop and say, is this person good for my mental health? Is this person good for my physical health? Can I ever trust this person again? And then what do they bring to the table? And if their skills are redundant to people you've brought in since then, even that footing eliminates them. You might consider bringing in an ex-wife if she has skills that would benefit the group. If you are still friendly, maybe allowing them on board would be acceptable. A major part of this is, how do you still relate to each other after you've separated? So there's your thought exercise. I want to hear your opinions down in the comments section. And let's touch on current events. Apparently, Putin cured COVID. The same week he'd started up with Ukraine, the mask mandate has been lifted at work. Matter of fact, I haven't heard anything about the virus since Ukraine started. It's all oil, rising gas prices, and Ukraine. Which is interesting because the reports I'm getting from friends down in Texas is that our pipelines are still flowing and we are still exporting oil, at the same rate we were before gas prices started rising. So why are we exporting when we could be refining? Why are gas prices going up? Hey, I can't tell you. What I can tell you is it's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better again. I hear that gas is $6 and $7 a gallon for our California brethren. Times are getting interesting, people. We are seeing rise in inflation. We are seeing the Walmart shelves being rearranged in such a way that I'm beginning to wonder if they even have 3-day inventory anymore, or if they only have 2-day inventory. Had a warning of snow a while back, a couple weeks ago, and I happened to go in just to take a peek. And yeah, the shelves usually go empty during a pre-storm warning, but these were bare much more quickly than normal. And I'm beginning to notice it doesn't seem as if the racks are holding as many pop cases as usual, as many coffee cans as usual. It's just odd. I would encourage you to take a look at your grocery store shelves and do your own analysis and assessment of how well stocked they are. So, just a thought, but something to consider. Of course, we always have a little bit more than 3 days on hand, right? You do, I do. I'm talking to the choir, right? If you don't, I would suggest starting to build your pantry, even if it is 1 can extra per trip, maybe 2. Don't stretch your budget too badly. Don't go into debt, but begin if you haven't. Because I think times are going to get a lot more rough before they get a lot better. So that's prep talk. That's Jeep talk. That's my thoughts for the day. Have a good week, y'all. We'll talk soon.